Sri Sai Satcharitra, chapter 43-44, English. Baba passing away, Maraninchu, continued. Preparation, Samadhi Mandir, breaking of the brick, 72 hours Samadhi. Jags, a slight push or nudge. Sannyas, Baba nectar like words, Amratan Lanti Palukulu. Chapter 30, 43 and 44 continue the story of Baba's passing away, and therefore they are taken together. Previous preparations. It is the general practice among us the Hindus that when a man is about to die, some good religious scriptures is read out to him with the object that his mind should be withdrawn from worldly things and fixed in spiritual matters, so that his future progress should be natural and easy. Everybody knows that when King Parikshit was cursed by the son of a Brahmin Rishi and was to die after a week, the great sage Shukdev expounded EXPOUNDED Vivarinchuta to him the famous Bhagavat Puran in that week. This practice is followed even now, and the Gita, Bhagavat, and other sacred books are read out to dying persons. Baba, being an incarnation of God, needed no such help, but just to other sacred books are read out to dying persons. Baba, being an incarnation of God, to need no such help, but just to set up an example to the people. He followed this practice. When he knew that he was to pass away soon, he asked one Mr. Vage to read Ram Vijay to him. Mr. Vage read the book once in the week. Then Baba asked him to read the same again day and night, and he finished the second reading in 3 days. Thus 11 days passed. Then again he read for 3 days and was exhausted, so Baba let him go and kept himself quiet. He abided in his health and as waiting for the last moment. 2 or 3 days earlier, Baba had stopped his morning peregrinations. PEREGRINATIONS Prayanamu, Duranga Podamu, travel around through or over, especially on foot, and begging rounds, and sat quietly in the masjid. He was conscientious till the last and was advising the devotees not lose heart. He let nobody know the exact time of his departure. Vellipota, Kaka Sahib Dikshit and Sriman Bhoti were dining daily with him in the masjid. That day, 15th October, after the Aarti, he asked them to go to their residence for dining. Still few with Lakshmibai Shinde, Babaji Shinde, Bayaji, Lakshman Bala Shimpi and Nana Sahib Namonkar remained there. Shama was sitting down one on the steps. After giving rupees 9 to Lakshmibai Shinde, Baba said that he did not feel well there in the masjid and that he should taken to the Dagadi stone Wada of Booty, where he would be all right. While saying these last words, he leaned L-E-A-N-E-D Anukonu on Bayaji's body and breathed his last. Babaji noticed that his breathing has stopped and he immediately told this to Nana Sahib Nimorkar, who was sitting near. Nana Sahib brought some water and poured it in Baba's mouth. It came out. Then he cried out loudly, "Oh Deva!" Baba seemed to open his eyes and say, "Ah," in a low tone, but it soon became evident that Baba had left his mortal body for good. The news of Baba's passing away spread like wildfire in the village of Shirdi, and all people, men, women, and children ran to the masjid and began to mourn this loss in various ways. Some cried out loudly, some wallowed, WALLOWD, Padidurlu, to roll oneself, and some fell down senseless in the streets. Tears ran down from the eyes of all, and every one was filled with sorrow. Some people started remembering the words of Sai Baba. Somebody said that Maharaj Sai Baba told his devotees that in time to come he would appear as a lad, LED Pillavadu of 8 years in the Krishna avatar Chakrapani. Lord Vishnu performed this very deed. Krishna appeared before Devaki in the prison as a lad of 8 years who had bright complexion, who wielded WIELDED Ayudalu weapons in his forearms. In this incarnation, Lord Krishna lightened the burden of the earth. This incarnation, Sai Baba was for the uplift of his devotees. Then where is the Where is the reason for doubt? The ways of the saints are really inscrutable. INSCRUTABLE. Antu Chikkani. This contact of Sai Baba with his devotees is not only for generation, but it is there for the last 72 generations, generating such ties of love. It appears that Maharaj Sai Baba has gone for tour and the devotees had a firm belief that he will return soon. Then the question arose how to lay Baba's body to rest. Some Mohammedans said that the Baba should be interred INTERRED Karnam Cheyadam in an open space and a tomb built over it. Even Kushal Chand and Amir Shakkar shared this opinion, but Ramchandra Patil, the village officer, said to the villagers with a firm and determined voice, "Your thought is not acceptable to us. Baba's body should be placed nowhere except in the Wada." These people were divided on this point. Discussion regarding this went on for 36 hours. On Wednesday morning, Baba appeared to Lakshman Mama Joshi in his dream and drawing him by his hand and said, "Get up soon. Baba Sahib thinks that I am dead and so he won't come. You do the worship and the Kagada morning Harti." Lakshman Mama was the village astrologer and the maternal uncle of Shama. He was an orthodox Brahmin and daily worshipped Baba first in the morning and then all the village deities. He had full faith in Baba. After the vision, he came with all the puja materials and not minding the protests of Maulvis, did the puja and the Kagad Harti with all due formalities and went away. Then at noon, Bapu Sahib Jah came with all others and went through the noon Arati ceremony as usual. After paying due respect to Baba's words, the people decided to place his body in the Wada and started digging the central portion there. In the evening of Tuesday, the sub-inspector came from Rahata and others turned up from the other places and they all agreed to the proposal. Next morning, Amir Bhai came from Mumbai and Mamaltadar from Kopargaon. The pupils seemed divided in their opinions. Some insisted on entering INTERRING Karnam Cheyadam, his body in the open field. The Mamaltadar therefore took a general plebiscite PLEBICISCITE Prajabhipraya Sekarana and found that the proposal to use Vada secured double the number of votes. He, however, wanted to refer the matter of the collector and Kaka Sahib Dikshit got himself ready to go to the Ahmednagar. Meanwhile, by Baba's inspiration, there was a change in the opinion of the Baba other people and all unanimously NIMOUSLY Ekagrivanga or Oke Manasagala voted for the proposal. On Wednesday evening, Baba's body was taken in a procession and brought it to the Wada and was interred Kannam Cheyadam INTERRED there with the due formalities in the Garba, that is the central portion reserved for the Muralidhar. In fact, Baba became the Muralidhar and the Wada became temple and a holy shrine where so many devotees since then have been going to find rest and peace. All the obsequies OBSCQUIES Anchakriyalu Maranchina Variki Karmalu of Baba were duly performed by Bala Sahib Bhate and Upasani, a great devotee of Baba. It may be noted here that as observed by Professor Narke, Baba's body did not get stiff, though it was exposed for 36 hours, and that all the limbs were elastic and that his kafni could be taken out without being torn to pieces. Breaking of brick. Some days before Baba's departure, Nishkramana, DEPARTURE, there occurred an ominous OMINOUS Aristamu Bhavisoochakamena sign forehead forbidding FOREBODANG Mundastu Sochana. The event there was in the masjid an old brick on which Baba rested his hand and sat. At night time he leaned against it and had his asan. This went on for many years. One day during Baba's absence, a boy who was sweeping the floor took it up in his hand and unfortunately it slipped and fell down and got broken into two pieces. When Baba came to know about this, he bemoaned Vilapinchad its loss, saying, "It is not the brick, but my fate that has been broken into pieces. It was my lifelong companion. With it always meditated on the self. It was as dear to me as my life. It has left me today. Some may raise have a question. Why should Baba express this sorrow for such an inanimate thing as a brick? To this Hemad Pant replied that saints incarnate in this world with the express mission of saying the poor helpless people, and when they embody themselves and act with the people, they act like them. That is, outwardly, they laugh, play, and cry like all other people, but inwardly, they are wide awake to their duties and mission. 72 hours Samadhi. 32 years before this, that is in 1886, Baba made an attempt to cross the borderline. On a Margasira Paurnima, full moon day, Baba suffered from a severe attack of asthma. To get rid of it, Baba decided to take his prana high up and go into Samadhi. He said to Bhagat Mahalsapati, protect my body for 3 days. If I return it, it will be alright. If I do not bury my body in that open land, pointing to it and fix 2 flags there as a mark. After saying this, Baba fell down, and about 10 p.m. his breathing stopped as well as his pulse. It seemed as if his pran left the body. All the people, including the villagers, came there and wanted to hold an inquest, INQUEST, Seva Panchayati, and bury the body in the place points by Baba, but Mahalsapati prevented this. With Baba's body on his lap, he sat full 3 days guarding it. After 3 days passed, Baba showed signs of life at 3 a.m. Munduga Maraninchu. His breathing commenced. The abdomen began to move. His eyes opened and stretching his limbs. Baba returned to consciousness life again. From this and other accounts, let the listeners consider whether the Sai Baba was the 3.5 cubits body that he occupied for some years and that he left thereafter, or he was the self inside. The body, composed of the 5 elements, is perishable and transient, but the self within it is the thing absolutely reality, which is immortal and intransient. This pure being, conscious or Brahma, the ruler and controller of the senses and mind, is Sai. This pervades all things in the universe, and there is no space without it. For fulfilling his mission, he assumed the lives and also previous incarnation of God Dattatreya, Sri Narasimha Saraswati of Gangapur. His passing away is only an outward aspect, but in reality he pervades all animate things and is their inner controller and ruler. This can be and is even now experienced by many who surrendered themselves completely to him and worship him with wholehearted devotion. Though it is not possible for us to see Baba's form now onwards, but if we go to Shirdi, we shall find him beautiful like lifelike portrait adoring the masjid. This has been drawn by Shamrao Jaikar, a famous artist and well-known devotee of Baba. To an imaginative and devout spectator, Prakshakudu, this portrait, Rekha Chitram, Rupa Chitram, can give there and everywhere and will affect the welfare of the devotees even now, as he was doing before. When he was embodied, saints like Baba never die. Though they look like men, they are in healthy God himself. Bapu Saheb Jag Sanyas. Hemad Pant closes this chapter with the account of Jag Sanyas. Shakaram Hari alias Bapu Saheb Jag was the uncle of the famous Varkari Vishnu Buva Jag of Pune. He had no issue. After his retirement from government service, he was a supervisor in the Public Waterworks Department. In 1909, he came and lived in Shirdi with his life. Both husband and wife loved Baba and spent all their time in worshipping and serving Baba. After Mega's death, Babu Saheb daily did the Arati ceremony in the masjid and Chavadi till Baba's Mahasamadhi. He was also entrusted with the work of reading and explaining Jnaneshwari and Eknath Bhagavat in Shates Vada to the audience. After serving for many years, Jag asked Baba, I have served you so long. My mind is not yet calm and composed. How is it that my contact with saints has not improved me? When will you bless me? Hearing the the Bhakta's prayer, Baba replied, in due time, your bad actions, their fruit or result will be destroyed. Your merits and demerits will be reduced to ashes, and I shall consider you blessed when you will renounce all attachments, conquer lust and sense of the taste, and getting rid of all impediments, impediments, addankulu, serve God wholeheartedly and resort to the begging bowl, accept sannyas. After some time, Baba's words came true. His wife predeceased, predeced, Manduga Maraninchu him, and as he had no other attachment, he became free and accepted sannyas before his death and realized the goal of his life. Baba's nectar like words, Amrutam lanti palukulu, the kind and merciful Sai Baba said many a time the following seat words in the masjid: he who loves me most always sees me. The whole world is desolate. Desolate ekantamaina nivasam leni to him without me. He who tells no stories but mine. He ceaselessly meditates upon me and always chants my name. I feel indebted to him who surrendered himself completely to me and ever remembers me. I shall repay his debt by giving him salvation, self-realization. I am dependent on him who thinks and hungers after me and who does not eat anything without first offering it to me. He who thus comes to me become one with me, just as a river gets to the sea and becomes merged with it, so leaving out pride and egoism, and with no trace of them, you should surrender yourself to me, who is seated in your heart. Who is this me? Sai Baba expounded many a time. Who is me? Sai Baba expounded many a time. Who this me of I is? He said, you need not go far in search of me, earning, barring your name and form. There exists is you as well as in all beings, a sense of being or consciousness of existence. That is myself. Knowing this, you see me inside yourself as well as in the all beings. If you practice this, you will realize all pervasiveness and thus attain oneness with me. Hemat Pant therefore requests the readers, just listeners, humbly and lovingly, that they should love and respect all gods, saints, and devotees. He has not, Baba often said, he who carps and cavils, CRPS and CAVLS, at others to find fault or complain or unreasonably be niggling in criticizing, to carp at minor errors, pierces me in that heart and injures me, but he that suffers and endures please me most. Baba thus pervades all things. Such nectar, pure auspicious ambrosia, AMBROSIA, Amrutam, always flowed from Baba's lips. He therefore concludes those who lovingly sing Baba's fame and those who hear the same but devotion both become one with Sai. Both to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Sreenivasa Vijayate.